to ride Micah.
All right, that's enough of that. Good morning, fellas. How's it going?
Oh, I was on mute. What's up, guys?
Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
Yeah, back.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. First morning episode of the Two Timers so far. Maybe ever, but definitely this season. Surprise Maresco showed up. He was almost a no-show. We'll get into that in a little bit with him and Josh's matchup. But first things first, where are you, Maresco? And/or what have you been doing?
Just painting a football field. So getting into football spirit for this podcast.
He's got the paint on his hands. This man is committed.
That's right. I guess he's too bored of fantasy success. He's got to take it into the real world.
Yeah, I did win 10 straight here as well. So just success follows me everywhere I go.
Do you have a regular position in your Turkey Bowl antics?
I always play quarterback, but the arm is good old shot now. So not sure we're gonna be able to do that this year.
You strike me as a tight end.
Maybe a lineman. You can be the center. You can snap it and then stand there.
Coach Taylor told me I'd be a linebacker for him in real life, so I think that's the position I would have played.
Coach Taylor.
He did.
Do you guys think he plays fantasy? And if so, do you think he's any good?
I have no idea. He doesn't strike me as the fantasy football kind of guy, but
yeah, it'd be really funny if he had like no interest in football in real life.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Also, Tori wanted me to mention, because she's here, that this is her mug, and that she's allowing me to use it out of the benevolence of her heart. So, in case you guys ever need a coffee or tea mug or something here, just know that Tori runs a tight ship.
Good to know. Good to know. I might steal one of her mugs next time I come over.
You absolutely should. You should just misplace it. Put it somewhere that she won't find it. She'll be upset. All right. Well, we don't have a lot on the docket today. Not really much in the way of deck. And from a recaps perspective, we kind of want to speed up the recaps and just kind of go right through them. I know we don't have any of this planned, but I think we aim for like under 5 minutes in recaps. So what do you guys think about, like, I'll pull up the recap screen and we'll just rotate through, and each person will say like one thing about each recap. So like Josh, you'll have one game, Maresco, you'll have the next game, all the next game type of thing, and just get through them quick.
Works for me. We can just get running Josh's recap this week as well.
Yeah. All right, let me pull them up. I'm on the wrong screen, aren't I? Because this one's too... All right, Josh, we will go to you first.
Okay.
To get us going.
Clark. Rough one here. My main takeaway from this matchup is, well, two things. Deebo Samuel, absolute poop this year. Have him in another league, so I'm kind of with you a little bit. And then Matt's savvy waiver wire pickups of Schoonmaker and Abdullah. Was ballsy playing those guys. And it honestly ended up really pushing Matt over the top here, I feel like, in this matchup. So,
yep.
Good for Matt.
Great plays with Matt.
Sorry for you.
I would also say never guarantee a win halfway through the first games on Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah. I felt very confident when it was 50-20, and then it all went sideways. I'll run through Ben and Dave real quick here. Great victory for Dave. Ben's guys not really showing up. You know, McCaffrey and Harrison, his big initial picks have been a little disappointing, and Dave is hanging on. With getting some stellar performances from guys like AJ Brown and McBride, and the Houston defense was pretty good. So that's, I guess, the synopsis. But Dave still clinging to playoff contention here with a potential run as things go, and Ben seems to be potentially toilet bowl bound. Maresco, this one goes to you.
Yeah, this wasn't a super pretty matchup, but Kevin kept his streak alive, so I think that's 7 in a row for him. But yeah, I mean, if you look at both of them, there's really not that many points scored across the board. But yeah, I mean, Kevin did what he needed to get done, and I think Pollard came through for him. So
See if it continues for Weggy. Little Josh, since you're so hot on Mitch's team this year, we'll let you run through this one.
Yeah, this was a surprise for me. Honestly, I think I was following this matchup a little bit. It looked like Mitch was going to win for a period of time. So I'm not going to lie, that made me feel a little sick to my stomach, just considering how Mitch's season's been. But yeah, Dan's team ended up pulling it out. I think Jaden Daniels must have scored like 20 fantasy points in like 5 minutes, I feel like, of that Cowboys commies game. So, and then Josh Jacobs kind of showing up and flexing on the 49ers. So good win by Dan. Pretty much secures his playoff spot now. And Mitch continues to lose.
Even when he has a good week.
Yep.
All right. Hannah and Ryan Marasco.
Wow.
yeah, I mean, Hannah's team keeps winning, right? And then Ryan's team is struggling. I think that's 4 out of 5 he's lost. But yeah, Hannah, I think, keeps surprising all of us. I mean, she has a solid squad, but they keep putting points over the amount that I think she's kind of streaky. Like, she either has really low points or really high points, right? So, but really solid win. I think Darnold's been kind of her MVP this year. And then, of course, Barkley's game, setting the Eagles record and all that stuff. So, be interesting to see Ryan bounces back. He's on is there potential for Ryan to miss the playoffs now, even? Or I think if he loses
yes.
or wins out.
It's really unlikely because the worst he can end up is 7-7. And his points for is still pretty good. But there's a potential there.
Yeah, I think the only way is if like David, Matt, and Hannah went out and he loses out or something.
Yeah, Hannah has complete control of her own destiny right now. So she's in the 7th spot, but by a game. So if she wins out, Hannah's in the playoffs.
Yeah. I think Clark, you and I discussed it a little bit briefly, but I think Matt is the key, I think, possibly to potentially kicking Ryan from the playoff picture just because of the points for situation.
Yeah. We'll take a look. We'll take a look at kind of road to the playoffs or talk through it a little bit post recaps here. Yeah, I mean, Hannah, anytime you have Saquon, kind of get out of jail free card sometimes. I'll cover this one since probably neither of you all want to talk about it. Although it's good to see Marasco lose. Well done, Josh. Tight matchup. I think this was one of the closer point differential matchups all year. And also worth noting that my game also I finished with 114 points. I think a little bit higher than both of you, which is a little painful. But not going to hyper dissect the gameplay here. I just think the team that wanted it more showed up and got the victory.
Yeah.
Any comments from either of y'all on this one?
I think Dave sent it in the big group chat. I think this was top 3 just in terms of like. In league history, in terms of
0.25.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed Derrick Henry didn't have 3 more yards in him. So
yeah, I will say too, number of red zone looks for Zay Flowers that were so close to being converted. And a couple Derrick Henry almost made it into the end zone. I feel like a couple times. So.
All right. Enough being nice to each other over here, guys.
Didn't McConkey have that big catch on the last drive too?
Yeah, he did.
Good to see Marasco lose.
Josh a bottle of
Congratulations,
whiskey.
Josh.
I owe Josh a bottle of whiskey. So I was trying to deliver to your house, but Virginia is being a little annoying, so I'll have to hand deliver it.
Whatever. Man.
I don't know who's recapping this one. Is it you, Josh?
Probably. Yep. It's kind of an ugly matchup, but I'm sure Jonesy's happy to get the win here. Micah, it's probably time to change your name back to potentially Down for Denny's. I think that's going to go to Mitch, but I think Micah's in the running for it. But yeah, solid win for Chris. His kicker, surprisingly, basically outscored all of his players. So that's got to feel good. There's really not much else to say.
Oh, there you go. That's our quick recap. other thing to take a quick look at, the only other thing we have like planned is our picks for the week, which David and Matt showing up pretty strong this week. David, I guess, heeding the advice, changed his picking strategy, and it panned out for him. We didn't do too hot, the three of us. I guess Maresco is staying above 500 still, but
Yeah,
so yeah.
ugly.
I don't know if we wagered Fab on this one or not, but I'm assuming if we did, we can do the standard $2 thing. I don't even know if I have any money back left, to be honest. But we'll figure out a way to get these guys paid if we did. So, and we didn't do Fab last week. The picker wheel decided not to do a $5 Fab category. So that's all we got.
Nice. I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, you had a topic of some kind to cover, Josh, right?
I don't remember.
1 million pieces. Holy cow. That's a lot of pieces.
That
I
is
can
a-
hear them in the background. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. That's
My nephews and nieces all around, so.
fun
Oh,
times.
nice.
So what we were talking about a little bit, Josh, in case this jogs your memory or not, is
yeah.
kind of current standings, path to the playoffs, potentially, right? So a lot of 7 and 5 teams. Every team that's in the seventh seed and up right now has a game in hand over all the teams that are trying to make the playoffs. So ironically, Natalie and I aren't technically out of the playoffs, but everything would have to go perfect with who loses and how many points we put up. So it's pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
Matt, like you said, kind of with the best chance there to both make it into the playoffs, but also if Ryan were to fall, it would be Matt would have to put up a lot of points in the next couple of weeks. But if Ryan were to fall to 7 and 7 and Matt ended 7 and 7, then there could be a potential tiebreaker there. That said, Matt is playing Micah and Natalie the remainder of the year. So odds are Matt's going to finish. I mean, I don't want to jinx him. So there's a chance Matt will finish 8 and 6 and be well into the playoffs. But that would require Jonesy or Hannah dropping out, I believe. And I think Hannah and Jonesy are both in control of their own destiny right now.
Yeah, so I do remember what I was going to talk about because I was thinking about this week, and I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. I may have brought it up in the past. So now, like, in my situation, considering that I've secured a playoff spot, if I wanted to play spoiler, let's say, and sort of try to dictate matchups, what is the thought on potentially somewhat intentionally losing a matchup to screw somebody else in the league?
So you're saying that you have control effectively or an impact on what happens based on who's playing you or not? Oh. I think that's you, Josh.
It is, yeah. One second.
I was going to say, just mute him, please.
We'll give him a second. Which one do you want me to have on the stage, Josh?
I think that goes
against this one.
I think that goes against our league policy, Josh. But I could be wrong. You're muted now, Josh. So.
Thanks. What if I wanted to change, like, standings wise? Let's just say, for instance, I end up in the 2. Like, I don't want to end up in the 2 seed because I don't want to play Matt or whatever in the first week of the playoffs.
I mean, so effectively, Josh. So for context, Josh plays David and Hannah the last 2 matchups of the week, right? David is a bubble contender. Hannah is in control of whether or not she makes the playoffs. So you're saying if you potentially throw one or both matchups, it could impact who makes it into the playoffs, maybe in your favor, or it affects your seeding so that you're not playing the last bubble team in that might be on like a hot streak.
Yeah, exactly. I would rather Kevin get the 2 seed and potentially play, let's just say, for instance, I think Matt projecting that Matt's going to get that last seed. I don't really want to play Matt for multiple reasons. Like, I think his stack is kind of scary, can just kind of go off on any week. So yeah, like my thought, like thinking about it, just like strategy wise, like I definitely want to beat Dave this week because I have no interest in seeing Dave in the playoffs. But then next week, toss the game because I'm projecting that Kevin's going to finish in front of me just based on his like rest of season schedule. I think he has a pretty good shot to win the rest of his matchups.
So I was gonna say, I think I could see this both ways, and I think I could understand the idea of you doing what's best for your team. But I'm realizing that I think this is secretly part of a strategy to guarantee a Hinders victory, which is get Matt to play Weggy and get as many non-Hinders eliminated as early as possible, which is why you're also not considering throwing against Dave because you don't want Dave in the playoffs. And I think that's borderline. I don't know what the term is. Familyist. It's not racist, but it's close.
Familyist? Is that a real word? No, I mean, like with Dave, like there's a rivalry. Dave and I talk about fantasy a lot, and there are similarities just to, when it comes to strategy and how we approach and think about things. So
you want to be the best at that.
I want to be the best at that. So naturally, like my competitive juices, like, are fired up to beat him this week. So, I mean, there's always a little bias involved. So
I guess the question would be, and we don't have a reward for the last place finisher in our league, so it's probably not. Maybe this is why. But like, how would we feel about people tanking to lose the toilet bowl if there was like Fab on the line?
I mean, if you want to do that and get the Fab and then do the punishment, I mean, God bless you. I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't be motivated by that, but some people might be.
Maresco's the reigning champ, so we'll let him weigh in here.
Well, I think our league policy states there's no throw-in, right? Like it's everyone does their best every week. So Josh, I think you're trying to throw our league a little bit, and I don't respect that. I think it's shameful that you're even bringing this up. But and also I think if you're the second seed, you should just want to be the second seed. Just beat whoever you face in the playoffs. Why are you scared of certain teams?
But I think you're looking at it from like a very black and white perspective.
There's more races than that.
Huh? I think like there's a way, like it may not appear like it on the surface that like I'm giving my best, but like I'm looking at, I want to dictate my matchups because fantasy is a game of projections. So that's my approach to it. But like, yes, like I understand Maresco, what he said. I think technically he's not wrong.
I just think you're over like doing that messes other people up, right? Like you're trying to play the field in a way that can affect 4 other fantasy teams that have putting in their best effort. That's what I don't like. But at the same time,
but I'm trying to beat everybody. Like I don't care. Like I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm trying to find it. Doesn't David normally attach like the rules or the policies or whatever to like a season recap or preseason thing? Like he normally just throws it in there. I'm trying to see what's actually written.
And he's probably gonna send me a screenshot of the league rules and be like, just cool your jets. Like, no. But anyway, I just thought it would make for an interesting conversation. I feel like I've brought this up in years past, and I feel like I got the door slammed in my face, but it's an interesting conversation, I think. Like,
yeah, I mean, it is. I think it's an interesting concept in the sense that I can see that you're arguing like the do your best, right? Like the perspective of do your best is put yourself in the best situation to win.
Yeah.
It's not like you're tanking to get eliminated from the playoffs. You're thinking about getting the best matchup for the best road to the playoffs. I think what's ironic is fantasy is really fickle, as shown by whatever the hypothetical thing that Dave sent out. If we did points for the 7th playoff position, where it's like your seeding sometimes doesn't matter, even having a bye sometimes doesn't matter. It's like, I think to Maresco's point of like just do your best and beat whoever you're playing. Like, you never really know. Maresco as a 1 seed could have a total dud of like a week 2 and end up losing to like the lowest seed, right? So.
Right. I mean, that's
It's
happened
just
the last
kind of-
few years for me, right? Like I
Yeah.
snuck in and I beat the number 1 seed. Like you just kind of have to play who you're against and hope your team plays well.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing too that I was thinking about, so I don't know what your guys' teams look like next week, but week 14 is a huge bye situation for a bunch of teams. There's like
Mhm.
teams, I think, on NFL teams on bye. And the one thing that I know, just kind of like looking ahead, was like, I was like, oh, I don't know if like my defense and my quarterback are on bye. I picked up a quarterback this week, sort of ahead of the thing, by the bye situation. Surprise, I'm playing Will Levis next week. But like, I don't think there's anybody I would want to drop to pick up another defense. So if I decided to not pick up a defense and just take the L on the defensive front, is that tossing?
I mean, Matt has done that with kickers in the past. He's legitimately not started a kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's if your team, you feel like you don't want to drop a player for your team, and you still put your best players outside your defense. I think that's fine. But
Yeah,
I agree. I think that's totally fine because that legitimately is preserving your current roster in its state.
sure.
It's almost like NFL teams that rest guys going into the playoffs, right? It's comparable to that. But yeah, I don't know about throwing games intentionally to get a better matchup. I don't know if I have a moral problem with that, but I do feel like it's against the spirit of the league.
Sure. That makes sense. And like that, I think that's where I landed. But again, it's just kind of fun to talk and discuss. Like, there are those gray.
why didn't you throw this past week?
Yeah, I wanted to lock up a playoff spot, bro.
Well, so to be fair, Maresco, are you worried about your current position at all? Because I don't think we've ever had a 1 seed or the most dominant seed in the league win the title. Now, I'm probably jinxing it by saying that, and given my calls on predicting and guaranteeing wins, I shouldn't be saying anything. But I'm just curious, where's your headspace at this point?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's fantasy; anything can happen. You saw it this week with Josh. But no, I mean, I'm happy to have a bye and not worry about the first week of the playoffs. To be honest, so other than that, everything's out of my control.
Side note: Ben's used up all the jinxes. Like, I feel like he's tried so many times with Maresco at this point. Like, it's just it's just words. Like, there is no jinx.
To be honest, I'm not like super worried about like if I lose the league this year, I lose the league. I'm not like, but if I win, cool.
Yeah, what a position to be in.
Wow. That's kind of an embarrassing mindset, I feel like, because like, it's like great competitors like Tom Brady. It's always about the next championship, right? Like, and you're saying you don't care.
I mean, I'm just saying I'm not going to be like brutally like disappointed if I lose this year. I mean, it is what it is. But like, I'm trying to win. I'm not trying to win.
I don't know. I feel like I'm getting conflicting messages here. Like, why don't you just pick a side and run with it, bud?
You can take it whatever way you want. You'll never be Tom Brady. So that's all I know.
I will say, and I'm speaking a little outdated here, but like once you have won the league or won the league a few times, like you don't feel like, oh man, I have to like prove something here as much anymore.
I think you've lost a little perspective at that point, if that's your mindset.
My mindset is make it in the playoffs and give yourself a chance to win. That's literally my mindset, and that's all you can control your players you play, but you can't control what they do on the field. So
yeah, absolutely. But like basically being like, oh yeah, like if I don't win, it's not the end of the world. Like, yes, but also at the same time,
it's not.
I'm just imagining Josh's house, like post a playoff loss. It's just trashed.
It's been trashed a lot then.
It's true. No, I mean, like, I think, like, yeah, those losses, like, sting. Like, but they also, like, I think there's a positive way to look at it. Like, it motivates me to try.
Josh, throw the playoffs into the way that you play me in the second round, and then you can lose again. So that's how that
I
matters.
would love to face you again. I'm dying for that. I would love to make that happen.
What are the odds of that? I mean, you guys might see each other in the third round, right? In the semis?
I don't
In
know
current seeding?
I don't know what current seeding he is right now.
He's third.
So I think I'd play the winner of the. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you wouldn't see each other to the finals, right? Because Joshy and Kevin would be on the same side of the bracket.
I think that would be good for the league, though, if we were to see each other in the championship.
I think I play the winner of the 4th and 5th seat spot or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't get reseeded.
Yeah, hold up. So let's do that real quick as we wrap for the most part. Our current playoff structure, and I'll zoom out a bit here on this one because Yahoo likes to do this weird. Actually, I'll zoom in. So you have a bye, right? And then you currently would play the winner of Dan, Ryan, Chris.
I don't think that's necessarily true. Is it?
No? Does it reseed?
It doesn't reseed, but what?
Because this is the bottom half of the bracket is Josh versus Jonesy and Weggy versus
maybe,
Hannah.
yeah. No, because isn't oh yeah, that makes sense. Because
Hannah's the lowest seed, so Hannah plays the highest current seed that's in the playoffs, right? So it's not you. You'd be on a bye. So it's a little weird, I feel like.
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
But yeah, you'd end up with either because Dan's the 4 seed and Ryan's the 5 seed. So
yeah,
I think they just end up. It basically removes you from the pool and then it reseeds people 1 through 6 and matches them up like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you wouldn't see as of right now unless Josh throws down to the 4 seed. You wouldn't see each other till the final.
Yeah.
And I guess with the current seeding, oh no, there's not a way where that's man, it really is crazy that there's only in our league right now, there's only 3 Hinders potentially in the playoffs as of right now.
There's only one Dean, right?
Jonesy, no, there's 2. Jonesy, Ryan, well, Matt's not in, I guess. Yeah. Jonesy, Ryan, you, and Weggy are all non-Hinders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
non-hinder
ashamed
Deans
that there's only
are
one Dean,
holding
but
strong in our league right now.
So 50% of Hinders are in the playoff picture right now. 2 are going to make it for sure. Dan and I have solidified our spots, records-wise.
I'd be scared if I was Dan, though.
You still technically haven't clinched, have you? Technically,
yeah.
I think.
He has. He hasn't clinched his seed, but he's clinched a playoff spot.
I think I'm the only one that still has clinched. Technically, according to the league.
There's no way. No, well, I guess yes, you're right. Josh could, if all the teams that are 7 and 5, and I don't know what the matchups are, but a couple of teams that are 6 and 6 were to win out, and Josh was to lose out, and Josh was to have the lowest points total out of all of them. Josh could miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
Josh.
Which, given the context of this conversation, would be absolutely hilarious.
That would be pretty funny. I would have to laugh in order to not drink myself to depression. But yeah,
it's very unlikely though. Basically, the perfect combinations of winners and losers would have to exist. So
yeah. So basically, I guess actually approaching it from that, So potentially tossing a week definitely doesn't make sense because of that small percentage of a chance that I miss.
Yeah. Well, you'll know more like your final week, whether or not to pick up a defense. You'll know more based after this week.
Right. Yeah.
But you definitely shouldn't try to throw this week.
No. Just to be clear, I'm not. Again, it was just more of a hypothetical conversation.
Sure.
No. I like it. It's good.
Josh is going to bring out his lineup next week. It's going to be like all backups.
I mean, we talked about this, Maresco. Let's give our players a week off, right? Like, hey guys, rest up for the playoffs.
I mean, I think go ahead, Maresco.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, my guys are taking a break, and like Henry and Flowers are both on bye, and Ramondre, everyone's on bye week 14 for me. So week 14 is gonna be rough, but I do get Micah this week, so pack here.
Oh, so there is a small percentage of a chance that a team could swoop in and take the 1 seed, right? I believe it's very unlikely.
Yeah, if I lose
Yes.
out and Waggy or you went out and passed me points forward, then yes.
I think
You
it
guys,
might-
but you are 120 some odd points behind him in points for, and Weggy is almost
Weggy's
is
like
90 points.
Yeah,
Is 90
it would be
behind.
very hard.
it would take a miracle basically.
But my
I
points,
mean,
I'm
it's-
worried about my points forward, like winning the points forward because of my week 14 with all those guys on bye. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if
I think
Maresco
Ryan
has 2 sub
yeah.
100s and Weggy has like 140 back-to-back weeks, it could be close.
knock on wood, that's one of my bigger successes this year is I haven't scored under 100 points. So
Yeah, no, it's been consistent.
Yeah. That's got to feel good.
Yeah. Final note on the potential throwing thing, Josh. I feel like I almost see that in line with like waiver wire churning, which
Sure.
is like it might be technically against our rules. I don't know, but I don't know if it is technically. But if you were to like pick up and drop a bunch of defenses, quarterbacks, and kickers with no intention of keeping them to better your that is technically bettering your chances to win, right? Kind of same moral standing.
Sure.
But good conversation. I think that's all we really got. Any special Thanksgiving plans for either of y'all?
just chilling.
Yeah.
Should we make picks for this week though?
Nah, we can, I guess.
Or we could just do it on the thing if we want.
We don't have. I don't think we have the form together yet. So Josh and I will knock that out, and we'll send it out to the league and just do it on that. We don't have to do it live, I guess.
Agreed.
We'll just submit them there. So
Yeah.
I think are there any good? I think before we close out, any good matchups this week? Let's see real quick. So the matchup calendar is Ben and I are playing each other. Oh, that's week 14. Take it back. Ryan and I are playing each other. David and Josh are playing each other. Matt and Mitch.
Oh my God.
Weggy and Jonesy. Dan and Natalie. Ben and Hannah. And then Maresco and Micah. So probably the key ones to watch are Dave and Josh. That impacts Dave's ability to make the playoffs. Matt and Mitch, but we're kind of assuming Matt will pull away in that one. And then who else is on the bubble? Hannah and Ben could be really interesting. If Ben's able to beat Hannah, that sounds really weird. But if he's able to get a victory over Hannah's fantasy football team, that could change the playoffs quite a bit.
Waggy and Jonesy's a big one too.
Yep.
That's big.
Anyone that you guys think, I'll ask this as we wrap up, is either not in the playoff picture or is a fringe playoff picture team right now that you think is a dark horse to make a run?
I think Dave and Matt are.
Yeah, Dave's team has me believing the last 2 weeks, but I think this week will be the kicker, right? If he can beat Josh, which I hope he does. I hope he brutally destroys him and Josh misses the playoffs. But I think Dave has a chance, and Matt's team's good. But
Don't repeat.
Huh?
Don't repeat what I just said, you ass.
I was concurring with what you said, but I think Josh is the dark horse to miss the playoffs, so that's my dark horse bet.
I think the 7 through the 9 seeds are all kind of scary right now. I think Hannah, Matt, and Dave, I'll just add one to your guys's, I guess, all have potential to make playoff runs. And I would say his points for are compelling, but the way Ryan's teams are playing right now, I'm kind of scared for Ryan. If he didn't have more points for, I would pick him to be dropping out of the playoffs potentially. Yeah.
Well, and he just lost J.K. Dobbins for at least a game or two, or maybe more. They're saying he's missing time, though. So, thankfully, Ryan does have some depth. So, we'll see what happens.
That's true. He's got options.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck to everyone in their fantasy matchups this week. Hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving as well. Same to you, Maresco and Josh. Thanks for being flexible with the timing of this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, guys. Good luck this week. Go Pack, go tomorrow night.
It's like the only good Thanksgiving game on is the Packers game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bears, Detroit should be fun. Caleb Williams.
Detroit is going to destroy the Bears.
Detroit is going to annihilate the
I
Bears.
think it could be closer than
The Cowboys Giants might be good because they're both so bad.
it's true.
Yeah, that's fair. Division rivalry games. I feel like division games, when they're like both bad teams, though, end up being like 6-3, and it's like the worst thing to watch.
Yeah.
But we shall see. All right, guys, have a good Turkey Day. See you
All right.
probably next week.
All right. Bye.